toenails and quantum mechanics. Okay. I feel like, you know, when you clip a toenail and it disappears, it could be in any place at the same time. So that's, you know, almost the Heisenberg uncertainty principle there, just to flex that education. Okay, so we'll do toenails, maybe quantum mechanics, throw in on that. Toenails is first. Back of the room, what do you want to hear a rap about? You've got your brain fixated on feet now, so no shoes, chap. What's the other one? What? Crypto and the yuan. So the yuan is in the Chinese currency, and crypto is in cryptocurrency. Cool. 2 people in this room understand that. One is him, one is me. Crypto and the yuan. So Chinese cryptocurrency, toenails, maybe quantum mechanics. This little segment here, what do you want to hear a rap about? The Doppler effect. You really just, you know, we're just like, let's just say things we saw tonight. You said tequila. Wait. What? Hindenburg? Wow, okay. The Doppler effect, the Hindenburg. Harry Potter, that feels very just pointed, like a heckle. Just. Okay, so tell you what, you said tequila, you said Harry Potter. Let's combine those. That's quite fun. Harry Potter and tequila, Hindenburg, cryptocurrency and the yuan, toenails, and the Doppler effect. Okay, that's 5. That'll do. This then, lovely people. No, you can't say sausage. That's a food. Forbidden. Also, just a creepy thing over there, just like sausage.
This scene's great. He's winning me over.
I like you a lot, but no. So, okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take those.
I need to shut my door. Hold on. Did I hit start? I did hit start.
Suggestions. We're going to do a freestyle rap. That's a rap made up on the spot, based entirely on those suggestions. Not prepared, not written down, never to be performed or seen again. And don't worry, it won't be anywhere near as bad as you're expecting it to be. Wow, you're so unconvinced by that. Okay, should we drop that beat, my friend? This is going to be about cryptocurrency and the yuan, toenails, the Doppler effect, the Hindenburg, and Harry Potter and tequila. Somehow we'll knit those together. I'm excited for this, even if none of you seem to be. And can you pump that volume as well? Pump it a bit more. That's what I like the sound of.
What? Can I what? Yes. Yes. Isn't even in there anymore.
Make it flow, the words never fail. When I get too long, yeah, I clip the toenail. I take a nice pair of nail clippers down there. Take care, cause my toes got that hair growing too long. I see the toenails too strong. I let my keratin grow out. I sing a song when I do it. Usually a sound of pain. I got the fungus on there, I'll never do it again. Walk through a swimming pool with no socks on. When I clip my tail, no, yeah, where it gone? Tail, no, I meant toenail. Flip the word around. Then me see the ambulance coming by the sound. That's the Doppler effect. Where's it going next? The pitch starts high and then it's directly down the street. The pitch goes lower as it moves. Don McMillan on stage, he proved how it works. It's the frequency. I can't move on there with secrecy like the Chinese government out in Beijing. Cryptocurrency, it's a real thing. Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you got a lot of that, you're a wealthy man. But if you go to the Republic of China, get a little coin out. Yeah, it's a shiner. See all the sunlight reflect off the currency. They're not doing that well though currently. A trade war coming on between here and China. Yeah, the White House in fear saying, oh God, yeah, we got those tariffs. Gotta keep the money in that balance. If you don't study it fiscally, there's no laughs in here. It's a risk for me, but that's okay. I'm gonna move on. Quantum mechanics, yeah, not the U one. I'm gonna say particles in space could be anytime like tequila in my face when I'm knocking on the neck. take a lot of shots. I'm in the bar, how many? Yeah, I forgot. I look all of the glasses, I try and count them up. The next in, yeah, hold them up. Your ones are mean. I'm gonna say this, I'm a charmer. Let me take it off you, Expelliarmus. What a magic trick you can do, Harry Potter. Can you refill this empty bottle of tequila? Get me Jose Cuervo, sounds like a spell that they do, and I do know you can ask them. Come from far, Harry Potter, how did you get that star? Well, actually, I was drunk on the worm juice. I was walking around, here's the mad proof. I stumbled and broke my glasses. When I get drunk on tequila, the girls' asses look so fine. I've observed, I crash and I burn like the Hindenburg. Coming in the early 20th century, you tried to land there, it was meant to be, but didn't end pleasantly. All the humanity, all the German people dying, they were set free. It was burning, never do again. Careful, don't fill with the hydrogen, because it's flammable, fools. When lightning strikes, it's not gonna end well, no, not right. All the people burning, one little fact, there's still one survivor. Where does he live? Actually, in northern Colorado. This is true, I studied this, yeah, I really do go. I think he lives in a place called Parachute or Rifle. I've gotta look it up, tell you the truth. Chris, we didn't know these people live for so long. It's true, yeah, I've got a really long schlong. Why would I say that? Yeah, I am the boss here. I don't call it a big schlong, I call it a sausage.
Oh, he throws the sausage in at the end. That was good at the end. That was a great way to end it. Well done, sir. Well done. Isn't Steve Aoki the son of the guy who started Benihana? Uh-oh. 2 tables? It's free roll time. Just put that over there for now. How's this $1 million stake? Tell me about the $1 million stake.
1 million subscribers, Angel.
There's a million people.
There's 1 million people that click that subscribers button to watch our video. Guys, I'm forever grateful. I am so thankful. Thank you so much
1
for
million.
subscribing. I don't know what else to say, man. This is
Don't cry, bro. Don't cry, bro.
I'm not gonna cry on the video because this video is 100% dedicated to all of you. Thank you so much for subscribing. Now roll the clip.
I think he's crying.
Jable, what's good? Early morning.
Ever since my first experiment with dry aging, which was a bone-in ribeye, man, I've been addicted to it.
What's
After that, I
up?
jumped right into
How's
dry
it going,
aging a
Jable?
brisket for 60 days, and boy, was that amazing. All I have to tell you, it was a waterfall of juice.
What? How does he
Then
get
I
all that
stepped up
juice
the
to come
notch and
out of
went to
there?
butter dry aging, which was good. It actually gave me confidence to start with Wagyu dry aging, and my first one was a beautiful dry aged picanha. That was almost like an
what?
outer body experience.
What is this channel I just found? What's going
After that,
on
my
here?
confidence went up and I dry aged an Australian Wagyu marbling score 7. And let's just say that was
What?
the icing on the cake. But everything I have learned with dry aging has led me to today. This is dry aging Japanese Wagyu A5, the most expensive meat in the world. So let's do it.
Oh my god, I need this in my life. After this video,
This
we're going to
is
the
Holy
beginning.
Grail of beef, the real deal, and I can prove it. And even before opening the package, you can see this is something special. When you buy real Japanese Wagyu A5, it comes with a certificate. This is 100% authentic. Do not be fooled.
Why is his
my
cut?
friends. That is why I have my own
He cut
meat
it.
dealer.
He
These are
cut
all
it while
information
opening
about
the
cow,
package.
How much it weighed, the day it was harvested, it's aged, and the opposite side is the information in Japanese. Believe me when I tell you, this is not easy to get. And without my meat dealer, this would never been possible. Hashtag thank you, Emilio. You are a true friend. Even opening this is an experience on its own. It's like the Super Bowl of all beef. And I know exactly what you're thinking. If I get this, I'll be nervous opening it. Trust me, I was. After opening everything, here's what it looks
Wow.
like.
I need that in my life. Dude. Working? That's what's up.
To really find out if it's worth dry aging it, I want to split it in half.
Take it down.
By doing so,
Get
we're gonna
that
have
money,
one half
baby.
dry age and the other one is not. This will be a true comparison to see if it's worth dry aging a priceless meat like this.
What do you do,
Once I
Jables?
cut it open, here's what we got.
Dude.
This half will be our control, and in order to preserve its freshness, the best way to do it is to freeze it. So I started by cutting some beautiful steaks. All those beautiful white spots throughout the meat is intramuscular fat. For that reason, the outer fat is just not necessary, and it can be used for so many other things you've seen on my channel. So I like to do what's called a super trim, which means to extract all of the external fat. Once that's done, I'm left with the most incredible steaks in the world.
Wow. Cost data analyst, that's what's up. Cranking away, cranking away. You can have me up in the background, listen a little bit. That's what's up.
To
That's
ensure
what's
its
up.
freshness and compare with the dry age, I'm going to be freezing them for a total of 35 days. Then I'll be thawing them out to compare. I want you to remember that there's no waste. I save all the Wagyu fat for different experiments that you've seen on the channel, including that $1 Wagyu that I did a few videos ago. To dry age it, I'm going to be using the method I trust the most, and it is called Umai Dry. This is not a regular bag, it is a special membrane, which looks like a bag. It basically allows moistures to escape without allowing anything bad to go back in, allowing you to dry age at home without any special equipment. You saw it
What?
when I opened the bag, it was completely dry. In order for the Umai Dry membrane to work, it needs to have moisture. Since there was no juice in the bag, we can substitute that with water. So I lightly coated every single surface. Now all there's left to do is bag it up and vacuum seal it. Using a special fabric that comes
I
with
can
the
do
kit,
this
it
at
allows me to
home?
use my regular vacuum sealer. To ensure my seal is tight, I like to seal it 3 times. Once I was done, you can see that the membrane is in full contact with the meat, and that is what you're looking for.
I am for
When putting
real
in your regular
doing this.
refrigerator, it is important that you have airflow throughout the whole thing. So for that, I like to use a cooling rack underneath it. Now there's nothing else to do but let it dry age on my regular refrigerator for a total of 35 days.
Oh, you just put it in the fridge? What have I been doing with my life? We're all in with
35 days
Ace
were up, I
Queen.
removed it from my
free
refrigerator,
roll.
I opened it up, and once I did,
Let's flip. What
this
do
is
you
what
got?
it looks like.
Run it. Ace or Queen? Queen on the river, baby. Let's go. Wow. Look
I've
at
done
how
a lot of dry
fucking
aging,
amazing
and
that
the thing
looks.
looks like this. The fat melts by the touch of my hand. Even after dry age, this still happens. Also, the color is quite unique. I've never seen anything like it. But now it's time to open it up.
What? This is amazing. I can do this at home? For cheap?
It seems like that red color is completely gone. Normally when I cut a dry age, that red is so nice. But here, there's almost nothing, just a little bit towards the left. Like every dry aged steak, you must remove the pellicles. That's the outer layer skin formed with the dry aging process. Since every piece of meat I'm trimming out costs a big chunk of money, I am being extremely careful. Then, like the previous steak, I've also decided to do a super trim so I can save the fat. Once all of them were trimmed, I also defrosted the fresh one and put them right next to each other, and this is what they look like. The dry aged on the right and the other one on the left.
What?
But now the most exciting part for me is to find out what they'll taste like. To make sure we're tasting the steak and nothing else, I decided to season them with salt and freshly ground.
Why
black
do you
pepper.
want it
But now
dry
that you've seen
aged?
the whole process,
Why wouldn't you
I say
just
it is
chef
enough
it up
talking,
fresh?
and it
Like, is
time
this
to
supposed
grill
to
the most
be-
expensive steak in the world? So
Is it
let's
supposed
do
to
it.
taste better? Dude, this is probably one of the greatest YouTube channels in the world. I love this guy. Wow. Look at it literally dripping. Wow. That's the frozen one. Wow.
All right, everybody, we have our beautiful steaks right here. What do you think, Angel?
They're beautiful.
I know, I agree with you. They look fantastic. When we're searing, they look awesome, but I know what they're thinking. Because they're thinking this steak right here is totally overcooked. Because there's zero redness on it on this part right here.
Well, on this part, but over here is red.
Over here is
I don't
red.
know why. It's just how it is, I guess.
I know why. I think I know why, and I have a theory why.
Because of the dry aging?
Because of the dry aging. Angel knows what this experiment is. He was here all along with me. He couldn't miss it. This is kind of like a Super Bowl of all steaks, isn't it, Angel?
Yeah,
it is
pretty
the
much.
Super Bowl. So when you cut up the dry age, everybody, it's not as red. It was taken out at 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's definitely not overcooked. Both of them are the exact same temperature. But I think it's enough talking and we have to try them on, Angel. Which one you want to go for it first? Well, let's go for this one here first, no? Let's go for this one here so that we can really, you know, try to remember. It's been a long time since we don't eat no Wagyu. You agree? Look at that.
Yeah, it's
That's
been a
like
while.
butter. It's just butter, everybody. A5. It is so amazing. It is an experience.
I mean, I've had
It is
Wagyu. It
hard
wasn't
to
like
describe.
the most
Describe it,
amazing
Angel.
thing in the world.
Say 5, baby.
I say
It's
5,
the
baby.
ultimate steak, bro.
It is
Meat,
the ultimate steak. Now, I know you can't wait anymore. Let's go for it, Angel.
We gotta compare them, bro.
Let's
That's
see what
we
it
came
tastes
for.
like. Well, I almost got two. All right, buddy. Cheers. Oh my God!
Wow.
I just made 8-5 better. Wow, very beefy. Everything that this steak has times 2 is on this steak right here. There's a very
What?
mild umami flavor to it from the dry age. It is not overpowering. It is incredible. I see you're going for the second one to test it again to see the difference. Go for
Yeah.
it, Angel. Now I took the part that had a little bit of the red on it. I'm gonna take the other part right here, which we saw that lost all the red color. You guys see us going back and forth because we really want to give you guys a good review.
It's annoying, like, that this is so much better than that one.
Really?
Because then we're gonna treat this one like it's nothing.
I know, right?
And this is not nothing. This is like the best.
This is the best steak in the world. This just elevated the best steak in the world a little bit more. Everybody.
What?
The Japanese Wagyu A5 is an experience in itself. You know, Angel, we are very lucky because not a lot of people will ever be able to experience something like this. They don't sell this kind of thing. I don't even know how much this would cost. If this is the most
They
expensive
get a like and a
meat in
sub
the
out of me. This is a great channel. Alright, videos. How many times can you freeze a steak? I want to know about dry aging. Whiskey dry aging? What? What the fuck is butter dry aged? How to dry age beef at home. That's where he started doing it.
For today's cook, I'm going to be dry aging this USDA Prime rib roast. It is a 7-bone rib roast. I got it from the Riviere Kettle Company in Minnesota. And I'm
Damn.
excited to show you guys my process. So let's do it. Before receiving this beautiful piece of meat, it was wet aged for 28 days. The first step is to keep everything clean. So it is imperative to use gloves and make sure that everything is 100% clean. To keep things clean, I like to use aluminum paper. If you are using a cutting board, make sure you
Aluminum
wash
foil?
it thoroughly before starting. After
Aluminum
washing the
paper.
exterior with soapy water, dry it very well. This is an umai bag. It is a very special bag, nothing like your regular vacuum bag at home. And what it does is allow moistures to escape while not allowing anything to get in, which allows you at home to dry age without any expensive equipment. Cutting the bag, make sure that you don't open all the way, so you don't expose the meat and transfer everything in one motion. To make sure you won't get any liquid into the umai bag, it is important to fold it back. Then without removing the meat from the vac bag, just push it all in. Then wipe the inside well. To extract as much air as possible, push it to the side. Since the bag is too large for my vacuum sealer, first thing to do is seal one side and then use this special fabric in order to suck all the air out. It is quite simple and easy. It does not matter how much you try, you will not get all the air out. And that's okay. Now for the extra pieces, place it on a cooling rack so that the air will circulate through the bottom and the top. This will help the dry aging process. Do not get confused with wet aging. This is dry aging. Remember, this is a special bag. It is not a Ziploc bag or a vacuum bag. Now we gotta place it in the refrigerator and let it rest without nothing else to do for 45 days.
What? 45 days? You gotta stare at that every time you open your fridge and not cook it?
After a long waited 45 days, we gotta
Whoa.
remove the bag and see
looks
the
so
masterpiece.
different. Whoa.
Now there are several different ways to butcher it. Let me show you how I like to do it. And this is your reward.
What?
Now you have an option. Cook them all or freeze it. Do not be afraid to freeze them. They will last in your freezer up to a year. But good luck waiting that long. Some people like to freeze it trimmed and others don't. I prefer to freeze it untrimmed. But I can't freeze them all. We gotta eat one today. Let me show you how I like to trim it.
This is so boss. Like, this is the most boss thing in the world. Wow, look at that tomahawk.
These are the pinnacles and the trimmed parts.
Wow,
This is
that
what's
looks
left.
so
Some are just the
fucking
pinnacle,
good.
which is the outer skin. But some are parts that I just took it off from the actual piece. And if you're thinking about throwing this away, you are out of your mind. There are quite a few great uses for this. For the outer skin called pellicle, you can render it down and bring out all the fat and cook it up on a normal steak, and you will bring your regular steak to a different level. But the remaining
what?
trimmings, like these ones, it will make the best hamburger of your life. Get ready for that episode real soon. So in the end, if you lose it all, there's not a lot of loss. For me, in this one, there's only these two little pieces, which are the bones. So if you ask me, Guga, are you gonna keep dry aging? You better believe it. And we gotta have my nephew Angel to give it a try for the first time. I'm seasoning it with salt, pepper, and garlic powder. This steak is so tender that I decided to tie it with butcher's twine, and here's how.
So it doesn't fall apart?
To ensure my steak is going to be cooked to perfection, I am using my wireless thermometer. With this thermometer, it does not read the temperature from the tip, but from this part right here. To make sure you get an accurate temperature, be sure to stick it all the way through so you get an accurate reading from the thermometer. Now that we have this beautiful steak ready, I am going to be reverse searing it. So let's do it.
Oh, we hit on the river. Snap call you, sir. He just rips it in there. Dude's got like good soundtracks to his shit. Man, that looks so fire. Look at the juices. Look at the juices down there. Wow.
Angel, what do you think of this?
Bro, I've been waiting since you put this thing in the refrigerator.
Angel's been asking me all the time, Google, when you gonna cook that? I want to try that. Well, you never had dry age. It's gonna be your first experiment, yes?
It looked kind of weird though, man.
How
When
did
you
That
were-
black thing, it's
when you were
funny.
over there,
It's
you
free
know,
roll, I
like
don't give a fuck.
putting it together and cutting,
I know.
looked all black.
Enough talking. I'm excited for you to try it. You never have it. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. Tell me your opinion.
Super ready.
Oh my goodness. It is like butter. We want to know. Angel have never tried dry aged steak before. Go for it.
Oh, it's just me now.
I'm going to give you the honors.
Okay, I like it.
And today you're going to get the bone.
Okay. Okay. Wow, man.
Tell me, my brother, how do you like it?
I really like it. Wow.
Even the dogs are barking today.
They can have them. Wow, dude.
And the airplane is coming like every time.
This is probably like top tier, one of the best that
Really?
you've given me. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
How's the tenderness?
Dude, it's like
How's he? What are these
extremely,
bags?
Extremely tender. Like like I said, you do not need teeth.
What about the flavor? Is it a different type of flavor for you?
Wow, this dude got a
Are
sale
you
for
eating
me.
both slices, dude? You gotta describe to somebody that never had dry age before.
I think it's like it comes out.
No,
It comes
I
out
don't
like
want Amazon getting
in a
a text right off
smoother
for me.
way, but it's still strong. Like it's stronger than a regular steak. If you
Yeah,
ask
it's
me.
like a more pronounced flavor, right?
Yeah, and it tastes like you put all the things I like on it. Like
Now, let me
you
ask
put
you.
salt, pepper, and garlic.
Yep, definitely did. Angel, do you like this steak better or the regular Google Cooker steak?
Oh, this one, bro.
Oh man, the Google Cooker lost.
Google Cooker lost today.
All right, how about this, Angel? Which one is better, this one or Japanese Wagyu A5?
That's a good question.
That's a what?
That's a good question. I just haven't had Wagyu in so long, man. You'd have to put it like next to each other for me.
Look at this boy, he's learning. What was that face? What was that?
What?
What was that? I saw something funny there.
I didn't see anything.
So you want to try Wagyu and dry age to determine which one is better. You can't say it right now.
This one right now, if you ask me, I'm gonna say this one. It's not fair. It's not fair because it's what's in my mouth right now.
I can totally understand. That's what dry age steak does, everybody. It is fantastic.
Dry age steak at home. Teach me the ways. Give me the signs. I want the signs. I like it. I love it. I want more of it. Sir, yes, sir. Try age me a steak, sir. Damn, this dude is not fucking around.
Dry aging is the process of removing moisture from the product and allowing the lipids within the muscle to break down slowly over time. It's kind of a controlled deterioration of the muscle to get something that's much more tender and that actually gives you a flavor
Controlled
transformation, which we think is
deterioration.
really important.
Dry aging is expensive, it's luxurious, but it just tastes incredible. And that's why we go through the trouble. That's why we spend the extra money.
At Oak Steakhouse, our flavor profile that we've sort of gravitated to, it's pretty full-bodied dry aged flavor. It's adults only. It's not for kids. First timers that had tried dry aged, sometimes it's a little too much for them. Like I said, it's not for everyone. It really isn't. It's an experienced steak eater's cup.
Well, now, come on.
It's always become generic to describe it as sort of the notes of blue cheese, but that is precisely what it is. And in fact, if you look at
Found my new hobby.
majestically aging loin or a rib of beef, you will see those veins that you get in blue cheese working their way through. And that is the same mold, and it does indeed have the same flavor profile.
I don't know about
During
that.
the dry aging process, you're taking the natural enzymes in the meat that would be active whether they're dry aging or wet aging. Wet aging is just in a bag. But dry aging, you're taking the meat and you're putting it out into an open air environment. So the natural enzymes are breaking down the muscle tissue, making it more tender. However, the cool part about dry aging is that you're allowing other environmental impact to be had upon that piece of meat. The notes that you get from dry aging, the flavor notes, the aromatics, are likely going to be imparted by the different molds and yeasts that are going to land on the meat and start populating it. One type of mold that we know that we're finding on there is Penicillium nalgiovense. It's a mold that's a very white
Penicillin?
mold that you're going to find oftentimes on salami. We're likely going to be finding some other molds common in the culinary world, the Penicillium roqueforti, which is going to be found in blue cheeses. You're going to likely find yeasts, which are part of the fungal kingdom, in particular possibly
This is getting
Saccharomyces
less
cerevisiae,
appetizing to
which
me.
is used for brewing and baking.
What?
Now, the controls that we can incorporate into dry aging are often going to be temperature. Number one, it's very easy to control
Temperature and
for
humidity.
the most part, but then we try to control humidity somewhat to slow the migration of the moisture or get the right amount of migration of moisture during the dry aging process.
Temperature in here ranges somewhere between 37, 38 degrees on average. It's definitely not freezing. Freezing would stop all the bacterial activity and would stop the aging process, so we don't want to ever do that. Temperature is important because we want to age product for 30, 40, 45 days. And in order to do that, you definitely have to have temperature low enough. Otherwise, you'll end up with spoilage and something that spoils as opposed to aging correctly.
I don't recommend just anybody taking a piece of meat and put it in a refrigerator because you're not going to have the air movement that's necessary to get that uniform migration of the moisture out of the meat. The folks that do dry aging on a large scale, they're truly artists. From the meat science perspective, I get a lot of questions, tell me the science of dry aging. I can tell
So
you
don't
what
do it
has
at home.
happened, but I can't necessarily tell you what's going to happen. That's kind of the cool part about dry aged meats. It's going to be different no matter where you go or what you do. It's different in every environment, and you are left to the environment and what it's going to impart into the flavors.
Right now, we have about 4,200 pieces of beef in here, well north of 90,000 pounds. And close to
90,000 pounds of
value.
meat.
So this is more than just an avocation. This is a labor of love, but it's a financial risk-reward game as well. I think it's very hard to replicate a room this size with this much beef. You try to dry age 10 or 12 pieces of meat in a small box, it's never going to have the same patina that a room like this with 4,000 plus pieces of meat will have. We have a really perfect environment here for this. It's built for this. It's what we do, and I don't know that many restaurants can really replicate exactly what we do here.
It's a refrigerated box. Like what? With fans?
You go
Like
to the
what?
Braga room, for example, and it's absolutely cavernous, massive. And when you have that much volume, paradoxically, it's easy to control than if you have a microclimate, right? Where the slightest variation will completely throw off the room. That room is so big that they have a little bit more leeway, let's say. It's also among the cleanest rooms. Like you go to the old school, like an old school steakhouse where there's like wood everywhere and cardboard lining, like the steak, the guy looks as dry aged as the steaks he's pulling off. So, when you walk into the doors of steakhouses, it's like the first thing that hits you is that from the age box. But the Braga's not like that. I mean, you get those subtle notes, but it's almost like you're walking to a science lab, you know. And I think that's how the modern butcher needs to approach dry aging. If you're getting into dry aging now, don't build a wooden box. You know, we're in the 21st century.
It's like being in a cheese locker where you have tons of cheese and you walk in and you put a fresh piece of cheese in there and all the bacteria in that room start to work on the new cheese that you bring in. Same here. In a week, we'll put up 700, 800, 1,000 pieces of new meat in here. So we're introducing a ton of humidity, which is why we have the high-speed fans. That adds to our humidity level naturally, just by the amount of meat we put in every single week.
I could build the dankest fucking meat locker. My meat locker would be the fucking fire, bro.
Anytime you start off with a premium product, you're going to have a premium result.
I mean, my head's
With
running right
the
now.
marbling and the fat content of a prime, you're going to get more flavor as it dry ages.
So the marbling allows the penetration. The fat itself is softer tissue. It's more permeable. And it almost becomes a conduit for those flavors.
Mike Cash, what's good?
Marbling for me is the most important criteria. If you have a really great piece of marbled beef and you age it correctly, you should have a great finished end product.
What's going on, Mike Cash? How you doing? Whoa, we got the 7. 2 hearts on the board.
You can get kind of floral notes. You can get almost even an alcoholic note when you first cut into it. It's a beautiful smell that comes off of these.
Somebody wants to bet, huh?
Those aromatics are still in the meat, and so when you cook meat, you're waking up the molecules that are there. You're exciting the molecules with the heat, and that's what comes up to our noses. That's what comes up to our olfactory senses, and that's where dry aging really takes this big leap beyond just conventional aging of
Bully
meat. You
boy,
really
do your
get that
thing,
intense
dude.
flavor. Not all folks like that
Do
intense
you, my
flavor,
man.
but we're finding a lot of people do.
So I often draw the comparison of the difference between dry aged beef and wet aged beef as the difference between grape juice and wine. And wine is from the same liquid, yet because it's fermented, it's developed complex flavors far beyond regular grape juice. Regular grape juice is delicious. It's very sweet. It's refreshing. But it doesn't have a lot of complexity.
What do you wanna do,
Wet
bully
aged
boy?
beef is delicious. I mean, look, who's
You
gonna
wanna
turn
get it
down
all
just
in there?
a
Let's
little-
go.
But when you're
Snap
making
call
a
you.
steak, which is
Oh
the
my
most
God, he
prized
turned
and
it.
important part of that animal, to elevate it with dry aging, I think is the right way to really honor that animal's life, honor the process, and honor the guest, indeed.
I love wet age. I do. There's times when I've got to have a dry age. I'm chasing that flavor.
Sure.
They're both great, but they're both different platforms.
We're in the golden age of dry aging. People are pushing it. 28 days is what you really need, right, to get that steak to the proper tensile strength. There is some imposition of flavor on that, but the further you go, the more desiccated the meat becomes, and the more profound and distinct the flavor is.
we
So
need to
I've had steaks
save.
up to
That's why
420
that's-
days that are no longer beef.
We like the 50-day, 55-day age. That's the flavor that our clientele likes in Charleston. You get some of these ones that go a long time, 90 days, 85 days. Even personally, that's not the flavor profile that I'm looking for.
You know, I think it's important to remember that at one time, all meat was dry aged. They were hanging whole carcasses. That had the same effect as dry aging, and now it's become a bit perverse, quite frankly, when you're just taking short loins and rib sections and dry aging.
Dry aging is new to a new generation of people who are enjoying meat. Dry aging used to be what we always did. Prior to refrigeration, meat was always just kind of hung in open air environments, and there are still countries that do that. What's old is new, and what's new is cool, and that's what we're having this resurgence in the meat community. Those who enjoy meat are really starting to better understand the benefits of dry-aged meat. People are looking for this next level of eating experience,
is
and that's what dry
wild.
aging can really bring to folks.
I'm trying to dry age some beef, dude.
What's going on, guys? Jax the Bearded Hiker here. So we're going to be stepping up our dry aging game. We're going to be doing it here at home in our refrigerator, and we're going to be using the Umai dry bags. You're going to want to stick around for this.
Do these bags actually work?
So what you guys are my sink and I've washed this cryovac packaging off really good. I just wanted to be safe and not leave any bacteria on this bag. So the first thing what we're gonna do is right here, we're gonna put a little bit of a slit in here and we're gonna drain some of this, the majority of this liquid off. Now it's very important after we take it out of this cryovac packaging, you don't wanna take paper towels or anything and dry this ribeye off. You wanna leave some moisture on it, and it's important to do that because it's going to help the umai dry bags that it's gonna be in. It's gonna help it stick to this. Just trust me on that, do it. All right, let's go drain it. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys can see this on this white paper, but this is the umai bags here, and basically the deal with these bags is it lets moisture and gases and everything from the meat out, but it doesn't let any bad bacteria or anything in. Okay, so what you want to do is, what I find the best way to do here is go ahead and roll the bag down and prepare it. So that way when you're putting the meat in here, it's not, the wetness is not getting on the upper portion of the bag, so we'll get a proper seal. All right, here we go. So we're just, it's a little bit tricky, so I'm just gonna do this. And then, when I get to a certain point here, like this, stand it on in.
Now it's touching all types of juices down here. You fucked up already, bro. Dude, this guy's fucking up. Fuck up. How do I dry age at home? And I really don't think I need the bag. Oh, genius. See, now this is some genius shit I could get into. Wow, I could get one of those coolers so cheap.
Okay, I've just got the this freezer. Actually, it's not freezer. This is a cooler. Somebody gave me as a gift. He was using on his business, and this is pretty good, nice size, small size, not too big. So pretty good for me. And inside, as you can see, there's a fan. So the like two levels. There's a one tray, upper tray, and the bottom tray. This is a I just separately I bought this one, and then this is the tray. This is for
the juice.
Himalaya, the medium-sized salt. So I'm gonna put this salt underneath it.
Oh wow!
So
this guy's a boss. I like you, bro. I like what you got
control
going on here.
More dry, and then looks pretty good. And yesterday I just put the extra LED light bar, which is wireless. So I have remote control here. Okay, cool. So I can check the dry aging condition, color, and everything without opening the freezer door, so I can keep the my humidity and the temperature.
This is what I'm doing.
So I can turn off, and I put some extra magnetic, so I can put right next to it, the side on the plate. So I'm planning to put the boneless ribeye.
I like this dude's style.
One, maybe a little bit more than 10 pounds. And then first time I'm gonna try the T-bone steak whole piece on the bottom. So we will see what happened. I will check it up every week or every 10 days, and I will let you guys. Okay, I'm excited. See you.
Are there dry age like coolers? you can
different.
buy or something?
Finally,
Dry
I've just
aging
bought
fridge for sale.
the ribeye, whole ribeye cut.
Oh,
And
whoa,
this is
a whole new world that I've never thought about.
The pound.
Wow.
The bottom grill. I've just put
the steak
T-bone,
locker.
T-bone steak. That comes with a warm, so maybe it's about the 14 pound. This is pretty heavier than this.
Get it in. What do you got?
And I've just cut the little piece, kind of 1.5 inches of the one piece, because the T-bone, the whole cut is a little bit wider than the width of this cooler inside.
Blind versus blind?
So,
blind versus
as you can
fucking
see,
blind?
The left side,
dude,
and the right side is just about, the same size of the internal size of the cooler. So I've just put the name tag, the ribeye, which is a 등심 in Korean, the February 7, 2018, and then T-bone steak is February 7 today. So I'm planning to leave this one about the 4 to 6 weeks from now on, and the temperature is a 68 humidity percentage, and because now cooling, the cooler fan is just stopped, and then the temperature is pretty good. I expect the inside temperature like between the 36 to the 38 the Fahrenheit, which is pretty good. And then
I want to look up this fridge now. Steak locker. That's what I need to be looking up. Steak locker. Kingsford's got one for $360. Like, that's probably a piece of shit. Wine locker. Wine locker coming soon, huh? Oh, that one's bigger. For $4 grand? Yo. Come on now, Ella. Chill out. 1,500 I can see maybe doing. But $4 grand? Come on now. Chill it out, Ella. My cash, let's fucking go! You ever dry age some meat, my cash? I want to see like a video on it or something. Like, what's going on? How does your steak locker stack up? Tell me some other ones that I can fucking... Damn, this thing does sound dope. It's got humidity control. So let me see who's got the steak locker.
Whenever the fan is working, so the humidity will drop down.
Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with ATBBQ.com, and today I'm excited to share with you a really cool product. This is the Steak Locker. Now, I was excited when we brought this product in earlier this year, the Steak Locker. And now that I've had some time to play with it and really get to know the product, I'm equally as excited to share it with you guys. With the Steak Locker SL150, you can easily dry age steak and make dry cured charcuterie at home on a professional level. Now, before we dive into the features on the Steak Locker, first we're going to turn it on and fill up the water reservoir so that it doesn't sound the alarm. Now let's dive into some of the features of the Steak Locker. It has precise temperature and humidity control, which you can adjust from this panel. It is equipped with a UVC bacterial light, which kills any bacteria present in the unit, and comes with a replaceable carbon odor filter. The Steak Locker will hold up to 65 pounds of product, and the chrome shelves are removable for easy cleaning.
That's what I wanted
This SL150 Home Edition stands 34 inches tall and can be installed indoors under counter, and its sleek design fits in well with modern or traditional kitchen design. It can also be installed outdoors with no need for a water connection. So now let's go ahead and see how this Steak Locker SL150 works. On the digital panel, set the temperature to 34 degrees and the humidity to 76. This is ideal for dry aging beef. Today we're going to load up a whole prime rib roast and start the curing process. You'll want to let that beef age for 4 to 5 weeks depending on the flavor that you're going for. Now, beef aged around 4 weeks is going to have a nice nutty quality to it. The longer the beef ages, the more you'll develop that rich, super beefy concentrated flavor. It's important to note that this dry aging process should not be done in a traditional refrigerator due to the fluctuation of humidity and the temperature. Now, the Steak Locker is specifically designed for this process and to keep your meat safe and kill that bacteria growth with the UV light. Now, this is specific to the process of dry aging beef and not the case when it comes to curing that charcuterie, so make sure you do your homework. One of my favorite features of the Steak Locker is that you can monitor the temperature and humidity from an app on your phone. The smart sensor technology provides immediate feedback. You can see the information over time, and you can enter weight before and after the dry aging process to determine
on
the
your
yield.
phone.
It also has instructional videos to help you understand and set up your Steak Locker. Now, 32 days ago, I put a prime rib into our other Steak Locker to age so that we could show you the finished product. Now, once the beef comes out of the Steak Locker, you've got some options. You can slice it into steaks, remove the rind, and then throw them into the freezer or fridge, depending on when you're going to be cooking them. Or you can just leave it whole with the rind on and throw it right into the freezer. Since it's developed that rind on the outside, the freezer's not going to damage the meat on the inside, and you're going to take the rind off before you cook it anyway. So like I said, we've got that tough rind on the outside, but we can go ahead and slice this into steaks. Look at all that beautiful marbling, deep rich color on there, especially on that deckle.
How much does he lose to rind? It's just that super outer layer.
I'm going to cut some nice thick steaks here, 1.5 inches or so. The aroma, it's something totally different than fresh beef. I mean, it's just, it seems so much more rich. It really does feel like a concentrated beefiness before we've even cooked it. So I'm going to trim off some of this fat and definitely some of that outer rind that we talked about. You want to get down to where you don't have the altered color on the outside. So we probably missed a spot right there. Just back down to the red. Obviously this is kind of counting toward your waist right here, so you want to minimize this as much as possible. But the truth is, this doesn't have to be waste altogether. This piece right here has lots of flavor in it. It's just not necessarily pleasant to chew on. So what you can do with these leathery bits on the outside, throw them into a stock pot with some mirepoix and make a really beefy broth. All right, that's a pretty good trim right there. All right, well, as you can see, we got great sear on both sides here. We threw the lid on to bring the internal temperature up to 125 to finish. All right, this is what we've been waiting for. Let's slice in and have a taste. Perfectly a little pink in the middle. Wow. just melts in your mouth. It's crazy how that aging process.
Alright guys, so I got the steak locker for my birthday. So let's go on it. I'm going to return the product. I've spent 1 week troubleshooting the product for the actual steak locker people. They've been communicating with me on Facebook. It's been kind of difficult to get a hold of them, but once you do get a hold of them, they will communicate with you. Maybe not give you all the answers, but we'll see if you're going to post those responses too. As you can see, the unit is set at 33 degrees. Nice unit. They're made in China and then shipped to the States. And
Hi there. I'm excited today because my steak locker SL150 dry aging refrigerator arrived, and after a lot of research and debating, should I go with bag, should I go with the refrigerator, I decided to buy it. It took a while for it to get here, and it's finally here. It just arrived a couple of hours ago. I researched online a lot, and I was not able to find too many videos about this particular product, so I decided to post a review, and hopefully it will help to everybody that's considering doing this or not. We'll see how it goes.
Oh,
Hi.
hi there. Hey, what happened to my refrigerator?
I ate it.
You ate it. Alright, there is the refrigerator. It's already unpacked. And I had some help from the two munchkins here, as you can see. And we put the refrigerator
Oh my
in this
god,
corner.
King 10.
We have sufficient spacing, and I checked to make sure it's all level. So it came like this. Obviously the handle.
All in with the A screen here. Oh my god, we hit 2 pair. Wow, how does that happen?
Looks like
How does that even happen?
Instructions and hooks, and the keys are there. And anything else, princess? I think that's it. Yes, that's very sharp. Be careful with the flash. Then we have the unit for Wi-Fi. It connects way down below, right down there. As you can see, that white tab comes out, and this unit plugs in here in the back. It's got a plug. So this is what talks to the mobile app. Looks like I'll look through this quite recently on the ride, because shipping. But so it comes with 2 hooks. There's 2 keys, the Wi-Fi. This is the water tank. So this needs to be unpacked and then filled up with water. And looks like inside the tank here there is something that will need maintenance and be replaced once in a while. It came with 2 racks. Here I can see 2 racks. They're tied, and here's the handle. Obviously you can discard that, and I think that's more for the air filter, but we do need it. We'll keep it here because I think this right here between the 2 fans, I don't know if it's coming up, right there, it's the air filter way outside. Twist it around 90 degrees. Then it's off if you line it up. doesn't. I already read the instructions before starting to film.
This is interesting.
It says somewhere here I got a part that needs to be replaced. I don't know if this is the right parts here or maybe that. So if any of you know, please comment, let me know. So I'll go do that first. Do the assembly and then we'll turn it on. And I think for today we'll
Assembly humidity.
it's okay, I guess. It's been 24 hours. Temperature and humidity.
Hey YouTube, it's Mr. North 14, and today I'm doing a review on the Kingsford Steakager Master 30 dry age machine. Now this is my final review. I've done 2 before this. I did a November review and the product just came out, and basically I told people to stay away from this product. Why? Because it was not ready. It had major defects in it, and it probably shouldn't even been shipped out. Now,
Damn.
disclaimer, I'm only talking about the Master 30 because that's what I own. I don't know about the Master 45 or the Master 15. I can only tell you about the product that I own, the Master 30. But just to give you some background, when I first purchased this product, they said everything that's in the 15 is in the 30, everything that's in the 30 is in the 45. The only difference in these units is just the size. Whatever, all the parts are the same. Okay? But that's just a disclaimer. I can only tell you about the Master 30. So, like I said, back in November of 2018, the Kingsford Steakager Master 30 shipped out. When I got it, it had 3 major flaws in it that made it so I could not even recommend this product, as well as for people to go out and buy it. Okay? And the reason why is, one, it did not keep temperature. Okay? It had a burning smell to it, and I'll explain that further about the burning smell. Okay? And it had a big sheet of ice on the back plate, and that big sheet of ice was the reason why it could not keep temperature.
Alton Brown will dry age a steak real well.
Submodels that are then cut into steaks as needed. I don't really have a special one, but I do have some very nice recyclable pie tins, some very nice wooden skewers, and
Interesting.
ice for some protection, of course. Now, just punch 5 holes on one side of the tin and repeat on the other side. Just run the skewers through. Careful splinters. There. Now just put down 1 paper towel, wrap 1 porterhouse steak, flip over like that, and you got your aging rig. Okay, stash this coldest part of your refrigerator, which most likely will be down at the bottom, which is good because that'll also keep it isolated from other foods. Cross-contamination, always a concern. Leave in place for 24 hours, and then change out the paper towel. It'll be kind of wet, gooey, and store it for another 3 days. When you are half an hour out from the actual cooking sides with kosher salt. It'll take about 3/4 of a teaspoon total. Now, the salt is going to pull moisture out of the meat. Question, it's not just moisture, it's protein-laden moisture that, once brought to the surface, will help to enhance the searing process. Now, as you can see, the coals have burned down. There are ashes all over. You can see all the way through the grate to the bottom of the chimney. This is a perfect fire. Okay, so take the chimney off, knock off as many ashes as you can. Remove ashes from the grate itself. Remember, hot. Place the seasoned steak dead center and place the chimney right on top. Set your timer, 90 seconds. Time's up and we flip. See that crusty exterior? That's what happens when high heat tangles with water-soluble proteins like the ones provided by salt. Recover, time another minute and a half. Time's up. Okay, we're 3 minutes into the cooking and our steak has had all of the close-up searing heat it can take. Any more, the mahogany brown crust will turn to black. By the same token, the intermediate heat at the sweet spot, say between 120 and 125. So, lift the chimney, remove the grate, and place on top of the chimney, cover with your bowl. Okay, this creates kind of a mini oven, which, despite convective heat, will not create nearly the heat you use with the steak base below. Set your clock for 1 minute. Bowl comes off, meat is turned, bowl goes back on, and we cook for 1 more minute. That's going to be a total of 5 minutes per heat. Time, back.
Only 5 minutes?
Well, I hope we've inspired you to take the porterhouse back from the steakhouse and put it on your home menu where it belongs. I suggest buying grass-fed when you can, age it in the fridge if you've got time, salt it well ahead of cooking, and when you're ready for the heat, put the spurs to it with handheld charcoal broiler. Just that simple.
Okay, Alton.
Serve the best quality cuts with the Mature Meat Maturation Cabinets. These sleek and stylish units cut the dry aging process in half, looking good enough to show off in your establishment every step of the way. For example, you can age your steaks in as little as 11 days with one of the 5 preset recipes, or create your own. And these units range from 60 kilograms all the way to a whopping 400 kilograms in meat capacity.
Meat capacity.
And/or external products that come in contact with food are made of non-porous stainless steel, AISI 304. Made from the same stainless steel are the front doors of each unit. They also include dual insulated glass panels. Arguably, the best feature is the ClimaTouch control system. With 6-inch touchscreen display that automatically manages all processing stages, the ClimaTouch allows the user to have access to the system that controls the entire functionality of the unit. The Mature Meat uses a non-monoblock refrigeration system, which translates to an open concept, comprising of the condenser and compressor necessary to any refrigeration unit. Stagginello also uses their Fumotic humidifying system that works in conjunction with the tank system to regulate humidity levels inside the chamber to help you easily monitor all these different levels. There are 4 built-in probes that come standard with each unit. The humidity probe, the ambient probe, the evaporator and/or defrost probe, and the condenser probe. Additionally, there's the pre-calibrated pH probe designed to connect to a PLC and communicate data to the display and record and store for a later date. To protect your products and shelf life, each unit comes equipped with a lock and key, as well as a number of alarms built in to protect your product. For a delicious array of options, efficiency, and style, cure and dry age your meat products with a Mature Meat Maturation Cabinet today. Available now at OmCan.
What's the price? What's the catch? a steak, bruh. Trying to age that steak, bruh. What? I want the tiniest one you have. Like 60 kilograms. What's good? That's like 120 pounds of meat, isn't it? I need a smaller one. I need even a small. Isn't a kilogram like 2 pounds? Related products are an aluminum filing cabinet? I don't think so. Good try. Where's the fucking price on this bitch? You know it's too expensive when you don't see the price right away. They're like, sir. No, sir. How much is it? Model number. Blah, blah, blah. Spec sheet. Product overview. Optional accessories. The fuck is the price? Yo. This is one of those things, dude. This is one of those things. So this is their cheapest one. What's the fucking price? Let's chat. Come on, where are your people at? No operators available to make a sale today? Take down the jack, sweet.
Serve the best quality cuts with the mature meat maturation cabinets. These sleek and stylish units cut the
They are going to make a movie about this story, and when they do, people are going to be sitting in the audience screaming at themselves,
how could the guy think he was going to get away with it?
But first, new merch! Let's see what it looks like. Keep clam and vlog on. Alright, work, vlog, let's go. Viva Fry, Montreal litigator turned YouTuber, and before we get started, check this out. I quite like it. I like it. This story has been going on for quite some time now, and trust me, it's absolutely fascinating whether or not you like poker. The things that I PVR on my television that I will watch while exercising in order of preference go poker, darts, UFC. And then if I don't have anything to watch on PVR, I watch golf. And this vlog is about poker and comes at the request of a subscriber named Bryopack Q. Who asked if I was aware of what was going on and what I thought about it. Now, this has been the rage in the poker community for a few weeks now, and people have been talking about it, doing live streams on it, doing podcasts on it, investigative journalism, and we're going to get into that. And it's taken me some time to do a vlog on this because I had to make sure I understood the situation before making a video on it. I prefer to be insightful as opposed to incendiary, researched as opposed to reactionary. Okay, what's going on? A poker player named Mike Postle is alleged to have been involved in some form of a cheating scam which took place during live stream poker play at a place called Stone's Gambling Hall. The Stone's Casino, for its part, is a very new casino in Sacramento, California, and what they were doing was live streaming poker via Twitch so that people could watch poker live, sort of. You know, there was a 30-minute delay to preserve the integrity of the game. And so what ended up happening? Well, Mike Postle apparently won in excess of $250,000 over the course of a year to a year and a half playing on the live stream poker. And this number is shocking for a couple of reasons. First and foremost of which is the stakes that they were playing was relatively low stakes. From what I understand, they were playing $1, $3 no-limit hold'em and pot limit Omaha. And for those of you who may not be too familiar with poker and don't necessarily understand what $1, $3 no-limit hold'em is, it is poker whereby the small blind and the big blind are $1 and $3 respectively. It is by no means high-stakes poker, so when someone wins $250,000 over the course of, say, 18 months, it starts raising suspicions. But it gets even more suspicious than the mere amount that Mike Postle won over the course of time in which he won it. By all accounts, Mike Postle is not new to the poker world. He's been playing poker for upwards of 16 years. And historically, he has had in no way, shape, or form anything near the success that he has had over the last 18 months playing live stream poker at Stone's Gambling Hall. And to make matters even more obviously suspicious, it's not even as though Mike Postle was winning this amount of money just playing any old game. It was only when he was playing live stream poker via the Twitch online streaming thing. He was not having any of this success while playing off-stream, only while playing the live stream. And Mike Postle might have gotten away with it if it weren't for one meddling Veronica Brill. Veronica Brill is another poker player and was the commentator during the live streams where Postle was making his hundreds of thousands of dollars. And she publicly accused Mike Postle of cheating even though she had no direct or concrete evidence that he was in fact cheating. And it was Veronica Brill's public accusations that got the ball rolling, and the entire poker community then started sifting through in meticulous detail over 200 hours of the live play in which Mike Postle was involved. And the information that the poker community in their aggregate knowledge was able to pull out was phenomenally incriminating. And it was set out in meticulous detail in a series of live streams put on by Joe Ingram 1 on his YouTube channel. Go check it out if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it, I hope you have hours to watch because he put on hours of live streams. He went through over 200 hours of Mike Postle's play to pull out the most damning pieces of information that showed that he had to have in fact been cheating. The poker community put together spreadsheets detailing Mike Postle's success rate, which was not just an outlier, but an outlier of an outlier. It was statistically impossible that anyone should have that level of success playing poker over that period of time. Statistically impossible. And the evidence that the poker community in their aggregate knowledge pulled together showed that Mike Postle was always looking down at his groin, intensely staring into his cell phone, that he was putting his hand on his hat at times in a very awkward manner. And what they put together and revealed is that there is in fact something called bone conductor technology that can run its way through the side of a hat that would vibrate to give you indications or signing or like Morse code, indicating what cards the other players might have in the event that someone was able to determine what cards another player had. And why would Mike Postle have success during the live stream and not during the off-stream play? The live stream employed a technology called RFID in the cards, which is radio frequency identification of the cards, allowing them to be put over some form of a scanner, each card having a distinct RFID such that the readers could pick it up and display the cards on the graphics that would be shown to people, not in real time, but on a 30-minute delay when the stream was aired on Twitch. And although there is a delay in the display of the graphic on the stream, there is a live read of the cards themselves via the RFID card reader. And some internet sleuths have proposed that there are these sort of interceptors that can intercept the RFID of the cards, and that Mike Postle could therefore know what cards other players at the table had and govern his conduct accordingly. And this would explain why Mike Postle was staring down at his phone in his groin, oftentimes putting his hand on his head to potentially get vibration indicators of what cards other people had, or potentially what his line should be, bet, full, check, raise, whatever. And the proverbial poo-poo has hit the fan, the gig is up, and Mike Postle is apparently in hiding. So that is the factual backdrop for your general information before we get into the legal side of this. But before we even get into the legal side, I want to illustrate the wonder and beauty that is the internet. The collective knowledge that can be pooled together in an instant on the internet is a thing of beauty. One individual, however smart they may be, has finite intellect and finite time. But when you amass the internet and when you get groups of people together, you can basically have infinite wisdom and infinite time to delve so deep into subjects that the information you can pull out would be exponentially more detailed than the information one person could dig up on their own, even if they spent 24 hours a day doing it. The aggregate knowledge of the internet and the poker community has basically conducted an investigation that rivals any investigation carried out by any intelligence agency anywhere in the world, full stop. That being said, full credit has to go to Joe Ingram, who took the time to sift through all of the information being provided to him and put all the pieces together in multiple, massively awesome, detailed live streams. Okay, now, moving on to the law part. As one would imagine, there are lawsuits that have been filed. According to reports, because I don't yet have a copy of the lawsuit itself, dozens of poker players are suing Mike Postle, the Stones Gambling Hall and tournament director, and Stones employee Justin Curatis for $30 million total, $10 million each for the damages they purport to have suffered as a result of this cheating scheme. And this is a civil lawsuit and not a criminal lawsuit, although apparently there are criminal investigations that are ongoing. And I immediately go into full lawyer mode and immediately begin thinking about the strategy and substance of this lawsuit. My first reaction was that nobody should be suing Mike Postle, they should be suing the casino itself. And why would that be? Mike Postle is probably judgment-proof, and I'm not saying this in a mean-spirited, judgmental way. Mike Postle probably doesn't have $10 million. In fact, Mike Postle probably doesn't have very much money at all, which is why he resorted to this scheme of cheatery in the first place. Justin Curatis probably does not have $10 million either, although at the very least we know that he has a job at Stones Casino, and if he was indeed involved in this cheating scheme, was probably getting his cut of the monies being made by Mike Postle. But it brings up the basic strategic point that in any lawsuit, you don't really want to go after the judgment-proof creditors, you want to go after the most solvent creditor, the casino. Although apparently in this particular lawsuit, they are going after all three entities, so whatever monies they don't get from Postle or Curatis, they are presumably going to get from the casino if they win on the lawsuit itself. Now, not knowing how the damages are detailed in the lawsuit, my suspicion is that the damages themselves are not going to be over $10 million, and that the plaintiffs are sort of going for the full amount from all three people, and whatever they get from one party is going to sort of come off the aggregate that they are claiming from all three. And I suspect that the plaintiffs are suing the casino for and on behalf of the acts carried out by their employee, that being Justin Curatis, which brings up the interesting question in law as to when an employer is responsible for the acts of their employees. And as far as the casino goes, it also brings up the interesting question in law as to what responsibility the casino has to ensure that no cheating is going on within its premises. Now, in law, an employer is very often held liable for the acts or omissions or faults or damages caused by one of its employees, and we're going to get into that in a second. But in law, an establishment is also required to provide a reasonable safe space for its patrons. And I don't mean safe space in terms of an emotional safe space, I mean a literal safe space. A business that opens its commerce to the public is required to ensure that it is providing a reasonable, safe environment for its patrons. And so a casino cannot necessarily just wash their hands of liability and say, we are not responsible for the cheating that occurs at our premises if it's not our employees that are doing the cheating. If a casino knows that some of its patrons are cheating, or ought to know that some of its patrons are cheating, I imagine that they can have some sort of liability towards the people who were so cheated. In a sense, it's no different than creating an environment that is not safe for the patrons of the commerce. Poorly lit hallways where patrons get assaulted by other patrons. These are things that businesses have been held liable for vis-a-vis their patrons. And so while I totally understand the plaintiff suing Mike Postle for his direct act in this, I think they could equally sue the casino for allowing it to happen in the first place, even if their employees were not involved in the heist, in the Now, the plaintiffs are suing tournament director Justin Curatis as well as the casino for $10 million each. And my thoughts on that are Justin Curatis is probably going to abscond or go bankrupt. So any judgment they get against Justin Curatis is probably not going to be able to satisfy, and if he does satisfy it, it's going to be minimal amounts. And this is typically what happens when people sue an enterprise and the employee for the wrongful acts of the employee. In the context of those types of relationships, the employee typically is not the solvent one, it is the business. And oftentimes people don't even waste time suing the employee, they just go straight after the employer, the company. The company then in turn calls the employee in warranty and says any judgment that the plaintiff gets against us, the employee is bound to reimburse us for towards the plaintiff. The result being the same, that the employee typically goes bankrupt and it is the company that is stuck with any judgments. Luckily for the companies, typically they have insurance for these types of claims, and it's the insurance company that assumes the defense and pays any judgment that the plaintiffs may get against the company so insured. But this lawsuit will bring to the fore when an employer is responsible for the fault of its employees. And as a rule, the employer is responsible for the fault of its employees. In fact, the exception to this rule, at least in Quebec and I suspect similarly elsewhere, are when the fault of the employee so far surpass or exceed or are not within the realm of the conduct of the employee, that the employer could have had no reasonable control over that conduct. But in general, employers are held responsible for the damages caused by their employees. It's a concept called vicarious liability. I in fact discussed this in a video I did breaking down a scene from Suits, which I'll link right over here. Vicarious liability meaning that the employers are generally held vicariously liable for the acts or faults or damages caused by their employees. And the idea being that someone opens up a business, opens it up to the public, has their employees who they train, who they have oversight over, who they control, who they tell how to do their jobs. If they cause damages towards the general population that they serve for and on behalf of the company and for the profit of that company, the company should be held responsible for the damages caused by their employees to the extent that the damages don't result from something that was so far out of line with what they were intended to do as employees that the employer cannot be held responsible for. And the other interesting question that arises from this entire situation is, assuming this goes to trial and assuming it goes to a trial by jury, how does one go about convincing the jury that Mike Postle is in fact guilty of cheating based on the evidence that they have, based on the statistical improbabilities of his success playing poker within that frame of time, based on the absolute inexplicable manner in which he played hands that no other poker professional in the world would play that way unless they were cheating? It's going to be a very difficult thing to prove. It is going to require expert testimony, poker pros coming in to explain why the line of play was so far out of what is normal under the circumstances that the only other thing that could explain it is additional information that only the player had. You're going to need to bring in the Antonio Esfandiaris, the Daniel Negreanu's, to help explain what poker is about, why this line of play makes absolutely no sense unless someone is cheating. You may not want to bring in Phil Hellmuth. He might just berate the jury and call them donkeys, but you're going to need to bring in pros to convince a jury that what they're witnessing is not normal poker play, but rather cheating. And it may be difficult to explain this to a jury. In fact, it may be difficult to explain to a judge because judges have expertise, and one of the biggest problems that lawyers have is getting in front of a judge with no expertise in the subject matter at hand and trying to make the judge understand that particular subject matter. Kind of like the time I ended up in front of a family law judge of 40 some odd years and had to explain the nuances of search engine optimization and the internet at large. There is no doubt that it's going to be a difficult thing to prove to a jury despite all the overwhelming evidence that is pretty much obvious to anybody with a grasp on the game. But alas, that is what lawyers are for, and as they say, a great lawyer can make complicated matters understandable to someone with no prior knowledge on those subjects. And I will be following all developments in this matter with great interest because I find it fascinating, and I promise you and guarantee you they will be making a movie about this in 2 to 3 years, maybe 5 years, depending on how long the trial takes. All right, and that is it. I hear the dog whining, and I gotta go take her for a walk. If you like my content, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop a comment in the comment section below, share my channel with someone who you think would appreciate it.
We're gonna bet hard at this flop here. We have the ace jack, we got top pair, but there's a lot of draws out there. Straight draws, flush draws, very wet board. Gonna call. Turn 2 pair. I don't really want to check this. Call with your 10. I'm gonna snap me off of the set or something. White smoke! Yo, white smoke. You won the giveaway again when you weren't there. I'm shipping your winnings now. That's funny as fuck. No worries, no worries. I sent it. So far we're getting our butt kicked, but actually we're doing okay in this. Ooh, I like how you minimize that now. We're 44 out of 50 in this $11 2K, so that's always a positive. What is this butter dry aged? Get in here.
There's nothing better than dry age, or is there? For today's cook, I'm dry aging this beautiful export rib in butter, in a lot of butter. I put the butter on top of the sous vide circulator so that it will come to room temperature faster. Then I put all of them into a pot to make it a nice smooth texture. Once the butter became spreadable, it is time to work on the meat. Now this is prime beef, which I got from Dakota from Minnesota. Since this is large enough, I decided to split it in half to test half dry age in butter and the other half as real dry age. After splitting it in half, you can see the wonderful marbling. The first one I started...
What's this guy want to do here? What's up, bruh? You gonna fold? You gonna 3-bet fold? You little bitch.
My bags. Remember, this is a special bag. This is not a home Ziploc bag. It is considered a membrane that goes around the meat to dry age. It is not a regular vacuum bag or a Ziploc bag. It allows you to dry age at home without any special equipment. For the second one, there's not much to do except clean the surface a little and cover the whole thing with butter. I spread it out until every little piece was covered. Once the bottom was covered with butter, I flipped it so that I can spread the rest on top. Check it out.
What?
Now there's pretty much nothing else to do but to put it in the refrigerator. I am using my regular refrigerator. It is not something special, so that it maintains a temperature between 34 degrees to 37 degrees Fahrenheit. Now there's nothing else to do but wait 60 days. After 60 days,
We're an
this is
idiot,
when
and this we should
I
have
was
just got it all
surprised
in.
to
What the
find
fuck
this
are we doing
black
here?
spot, which freaked me out. I honestly thought my meat was completely ruined. What
we're
in the
getting it
world
all in
was
now,
that?
for sure.
So I quickly opened it up to find out what it was. After opening it up, I was quickly rewarded with this. It looked like perfection. The only really odd thing for me is that it smelled like butter.
Somebody bowed up, somebody hit the flush, what's good? Just one other player checking to me. Take it down, we're up to 14K. Take down the 7K over here, what's good? say about...
It did not have a dry age smell. It did what in the world days? After 60 days, this is what it looks like. I was surprised to find this black spot, which freaked me out. I honestly thought my meat was completely ruined. What in the world was that? So I quickly opened it up to find out what it was. After opening it up, I was quickly rewarded with this. It looked like perfection.
Whoa.
The only really odd thing for me is that it smelled like butter. It did not have a dry age smell. It did not even have a beef smell. It smelled like 100% butter. It was odd and satisfying at the same time. This is looking extremely promising. Now let's go to the real dry age. After removing from the refrigerator, I quickly opened it in my bag. As expected, perfectly dry aged. Then I opened it up. After bringing it up to my nose and smelling it, which is the first thing we should do when dry aging, it smelled wonderful. It smelled like nutty, beefy, no foul smell whatsoever, and the way that I'm used to perfectly dry aged beef. When putting them side by side, you can tell the difference between them. I was very happy from the yield of the butter. It looked like I was gonna have almost no loss at all. That is very promising. So then I decided to cut them in steaks.
This dude's got like great background music and shit.
As I'm removing the butter from the steak, this is the black spot for some reason. As you can see, it's just dry blood.
No worries, no worries. I was so drunk last night I just couldn't hang.
Once the steak was cut, it was time to trim them. Remember, never throw your trimmings away. There's a lot of different things you can do with it, and I have shown that in the channel already. As expected, we did have quite a bit of loss between the dry-aged steak. Now it's time for the butter. Once the butter was removed, I was surprised because the edges were all oxidized in both sides. That did not look very good to me, and after smelling it, it did have a little funky smell once you pass the butter, obviously. So I decided to trim it. Once they were completely trimmed, I put them side by side so that you can see the difference between them. Dry-aged butter on the left and the real dry-aged on the right.
Doesn't sound like dry-aged butter is a thing.
Now that we have these two beautiful steaks ready,
Sounds
it is
pretty
time
gross.
to cook them and see how they taste. To ensure I'm cooking both steaks at the exact same temperature, I am using my wireless thermometer. So that me and Angel can really taste the flavor of these steaks, I am only seasoning them with salt and pepper. Now that we have these beautiful steaks ready, it is time to cook them. And I am going to be reverse searing them with the slow and sear and the Weber kettle. So let's do it.
Let's do it.
What do you think, Angel?
Wow. It looks awesome.
It looks impressive. We are starving. Are you ready to try it? They are different. We have A and B. Are you ready?
Well, we got a little experiment.
We got a little steak experiment today, Angel.
Oh man, let's go.
Let's go. Enough talking. This one is very special. Here it is for you, my friend. Cheers. That is fantastic. It is super tender.
Super juicy.
Extremely flavorful. What are you doing?
Awesome.
No, hold on. You gotta wait.
Seconds worth.
No, hold on. Not yet, Angel. Angel. All right, let's eat another one. All right, let's cut that one in half. I can't. It is fantastic. It is incredible. Wow.
Oh, it's so juicy.
Are you ready for the second one?
Go.
Now I'm excited to find out how this one tastes.
What are we testing?
I'm gonna tell you right after we try it.
We testing the juiciness?
Right after we try it, I'm gonna let you know. I'll take that one, you take the bigger one. You can take the bigger one.
This is the bigger one.
All right, Angel, let's try it. Cheers, buddy. Cheers. Way tender, way flavorful, a unique taste.
I already got it. I know what happened.
What happened, Angel? Which one is better for you, Angel?
I know what happened.
What happened?
This one's dry aged.
Ah, you can tell, you can tell. My boy is learning, everybody. He is learning. You get that nice little funk.
You know what I think it is? That it tastes like a little bit to me? I mean, I don't know. Maybe other people say something else.
So the butter didn't work.
Kind of like a wine.
Like a winey taste? Like a...
Something like that. Like, it's not like, I know you say it's like nutty. I say it's kind of like wine.
Like
it's a wine-ish flavor.
Like you can't get a grasp around it. It has an additional type of flavor that you don't really know how to describe it. I agree with you. Angel, remember the butter steak? You've been asking me to do it forever?
Oh, the one that...
That's the butter steak.
That's a straight butter block.
That's the butter
All
steak.
in with ace queen suited over here. He calls with kings. We need an ace. We hit an ace in the window, baby. Hold. No.
I agree with you.
It's a very good steak.
No.
Fantastic steak. Obviously, this is a prime steak.
Give
You
up.
started off with the best of the best, but at the same time, it is not a dry age. This has that nice funk, right? A little funk of dry age, not even close. However,
Like, what am I gonna do
it is
there?
incredible. It is incredible.
I mean, I like it a lot. But I don't think that it's dry aged. In my opinion, it's not really too dry aged.
I agree with you, Angel. It is not dry age. It doesn't have that funk, but it is incredible, everybody.
And it's super soft, and it's super tender and juicy and yum. But I don't think it's dry aged.
I agree with you. It is not a dry aged steak. Is it fantastic? Yes, it is. Is it incredible? Yes, it is.
So don't do the butter aging. Got it.
There's nothing better than a dry aged steak. Since now it is possible to dry age at home, I've been addicted to it. At the same time, many people have always asked me, Guga, can you dry age only one steak? I've never been able to answer that question because it's not even a thought for me. Dry aging takes time, and spending all that time in only one steak, it's definitely not worth it. But at the same time, if you were to try it to see if you like it, that's a valid question. And today I am putting that to the test, so let's do it.
Let's do it. Chat, let's do it. Man, look at that. Like, what? What?
To ensure there will be no variation between steaks, I am cutting everything from the same piece. I'm aiming for 1.5 inches thick ribeye steaks. Once I was done cutting, I was left with 4 beautiful choice grade ribeye steaks. I'm giving these ribeyes what's called a super trim. This part where you see there's almost no meat, and I love to use it for my burgers, so I'll be completely removing this one. Once the trimming was done, I was left with 4 beautiful steaks. My goal is
And
to
then you
resemble
make
what you would find in
burgers.
a regular grocery store.
I need a
Since
meat
have 4
grinder.
steaks, I'm not going to be dry aging every single one of them. We're going to do 3 different styles. This is an umai dry bag. Even though it's called a bag, it is a membrane. And the great thing is that
It is a
allows you to
membrane.
without any special food. Depending on the food that you choose,
My name is Meme. Thank you for the follow.
able to find smaller ones. And since I'm dry aged only one steak, I'll be using this one today. The great thing about this
Name is Meme.
allows moisture to escape without allowing anything bad to get out. Since these steaks are completely cut, we need a special setup. The first thing I need to do is choose the steak for the dry age, and I'm feeling this one will be great. As you can see, the top of the steak, there's no moisture. If I just put it in the umai dry bags, it won't have great content. You want the meat to stick to the membrane, and the way to do that is to get a here's how to do it. Just get the surface nice and wet with cold water. Be sure to apply it to both sides and add the steaks to the back. The kit comes with this special fabric which allows you to suck all the air out. Using any regular vacuum sealer, just seal as much as you can. Once I was done vacuuming, you can see there's still a few air gaps, and that's okay. Now all there's left to do is put it on a cooling rack to have it dry aged. Normally, I would dry age a whole piece for no less than 35 days. But if I do that to this one steak, there's not going to be anything left. So I've chosen to go 14 days. Now there's nothing else to do but leave it in my regular refrigerator until the time is done. The very next steak, we're going to be using it as a control. Now to preserve this steak as fresh as possible, I will be freezing it. If I leave it inside of the refrigerator for 14 days, it will be
It is what it is, Jables.
As a control, it will be frozen and then will slowly defrost. It is the closest thing that we can get to a fresh steak. Our next experiment is very interesting. I'll be using butter and fish sauce together. If you are unfamiliar with fish sauce, there's a lot of
Out of position, we're just gonna call it the ace queen.
with a few days is amazing. And here's how to do it. To the bowl, I added 3 sticks of room temperature butter, followed by 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. Then I mixed everything well until everything was combined together. I started by spreading one side as much as possible. It is important that you cover every single piece of the steak. If you don't, the parts that are uncoated will be completely oxidized. Then I laid it down on some parchment paper. This part is crucial because it ensures me that the bottom is completely covered with the butter. Now all there's left to do is spread the rest on top and on the edges, and my fish sauce butter dry age is ready. The very next one is pretty similar, but instead of using fish sauce, I decided to use thyme. Then I combined everything together with the butter until I made a nice herb paste. I'm doing the same exact process of the previous steak, which is coating the first side, then laying it down on parchment paper and then finishing it off on the top and the edges. Once I was done, you can see no part was left uncoated. Now that we have both steaks ready, all there's left to do is put it on my regular refrigerator and wait 14 days. After 14 days, I took out of the refrigerator, and this is what the regular dry aged steak looked like. Even before opening the steak, there's a huge dent. It shrinked the steak tremendously, especially on the eye section. This is expected, and what dry age does, it allows the moisture to escape from the meat. Then I quickly opened it up, and this is what it looks like.
It looks
As I hold
interesting.
it in my hand, I can tell you that it feels hard, and it's also pliable. And smelling it, oh wow, it smells nice. I would say this is a perfectly dry aged steak. One of the biggest fear I had dry aging only one steak was the amount of loss we're gonna have. So I started by trimming the edges off. I have never been so careful trying to remove as little as possible. When you are dry aging a big piece, you really want to take out as much as you can. And with this steak, I was really careful not to take too much out. A lot of people have always asked me, Guga, why don't you just leave it and eat it with it? Guys, it's not good. It is great for something like a long cook, like a chili, or maybe even making hamburgers out of it. But to cook it medium rare on a steak, it is not ideal. Trust me, you will not like it. Once the whole trimming was done, I was left with a tiny little steak.
Give me a 5. Give me a 5, baby.
I would normally trim even more, but I feel like if I do, then we'll have no steak left. It used to be 1.5 inches thick. I would say now it's less than 1 inch. After doing so many dry ages in my life, I can also tell you that it feels just like a real, regular dry age.
Fucking go, Jables.
Wonderful. And I can't wait to find out.
I need some good luck myself.
By that time, the herbs and the butter dry
5 in the river.
ones were also ready. The interesting thing about the butter ones is that it becomes a crust, and you can just crack it open like a nutshell. You can easily peel it off like nothing. Once I smelled it, it just smells like regular butter, nothing else. And this is what it looks like. Even though it looks a little bit oxidized in some parts, I see that it's perfectly preserved. Then I jump right into the herbs one, and as previously, it cracks like a nutshell. A lot of people have asked me before, Guga, can you reuse the butter that you dry aged with? I am not sure if you can. I recommend not to. Even for basting, I don't recommend using it. It is best to discard it. After removing it, you can see that it's slightly oxidized as well. But the wonderful thing is that no trimming is needed. I would say the steak remained the same exact size it started with, and that's a plus in my book. The control steak was also defrosted and it remained the same size. Once that was done, this is what they look like. To make sure I really tasted the steak, I only seasoned them with salt and pepper, nothing else. Now that I have all these steaks seasoned, I'll be using my wireless thermometer to ensure they're all cooked to the exact same temperature. But now I say it is enough talking and it is time to cook them. So let's do it.
Let's do it. This guy loves to say, let's do it. It's let's fucking go, bro. Get it right. Jable's dropping some biddies on me for the day. Let's go. Thank you, my man. We got 5 years. Who else is out there? Mike Cash is out there. Jables, White Smoke.
We have our beautiful steaks here. What do you think, Angel?
Well, they're a lot better than last week.
That's right. Today I got a big what? We are the crust people. If you don't make a steak with a crust, it's not good. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. And last time I did it last week, we had the pineapple steak and didn't have a wonderful crust. And crust is important.
Very, very important.
What is that face? You didn't like that pineapple? Don't go watch that video, please. Anyway, they want to see us try.
Don't go watch that video.
Try it. So we have an experiment here. We have steak A, B, C, and D. I want to know which one you like best and what is the difference between them. What I say is enough talking. Let's give them a try, yeah? Cheers, everybody.
It's a good steak.
That's a good steak right there, my brother. That's what I'm talking about.
Way better than that.
That's a good one. That is phenomenal, everybody. Absolutely fantastic. It's time for the second one. You ready?
You ready?
Cheers, everybody. Second one.
Good.
That's nice. More tender. Super juicy. I'm about to go like this. Man. Oh, I like that one.
It tastes almost like if you marinated it.
Yes, it's true.
You marinated it?
No, I didn't.
Oh. I thought you were saying like yes because you did.
There's no marination whatsoever, but you can definitely feel a different additional flavor. Like there's some additional taste in there, like some herbs in there, or some marination in there.
There's something going on here. It doesn't have, and even the aftertaste is a little bit
It has a nice aftertaste in the end, and that taste is nice and
it lingers.
Yeah, it stays there in your mouth. That is wonderful. Okay, ready for the third one?
Yes.
Go for it, Angel.
Dry aged steak. Let's go.
What do you mean dry aged steak? Why are you saying that? Just because it's smaller?
No. I'll know for sure after I try it.
Look, Angel is becoming a steak guru. You know, I can't even trick him anymore. Just because the steak is smaller, you automatically assume that it's dry aged.
Next time you gotta cut them all nice and small like that. Like they all look like that.
Third one, everybody.
Oh man.
What happened, Angel?
The dry steak.
The dry aginess is there.
Mini Bubba, let's fucking go. Yeah, hell yeah.
Right away, hits you.
I have a ton of these. I have a mini recycler over here. They're all from the same artist too. This is dirty as fuck. I'm afraid that's nasty to even show on stream.
So how many days was that?
How many days of what? Dry aging? I can't even trick him anymore, everybody. He's getting too smart on me. I'll tell you after we try all of it. Okay? But yes, you are right. It is dry age. Alright, Angel.
Yeah, I like the
let's
mini
go for
bubbler
last
though.
one.
You gotta put it through a little bit of water, cool it down.
Cheers.
But you don't need like a big ass, you know. I like little.
Oh. Well, you say best for last.
I was wrong.
What happened? You didn't like that one? I must say,
It wasn't the
super
best.
tender,
It is tender.
but it has an off flavor.
Yeah, the aftertaste is a little bit.
Describe it to the audience when you film that one. You immediately go to the second one.
See my face?
No description necessary.
If I have to describe this one,
Yeah.
I will say everything I love about this one is the opposite in this one.
It's just the opposite.
Opposite flavor of this one.
Alright, you ready to find out what it is?
I mean, I know this one.
You know this one right here. So all of these, I wanted to do this video to give an experience to somebody that never dry aged before, to let them know to try only one steak dry aging. Is it worth it?
Yeah, for sure.
It works.
You know what? I think that's awesome. Yeah, that's a good idea.
It works. You can give it a try.
Let's
I
say-
would recommend a little bit thicker steak though, because this is a little bit too thin, you know. And
But then if they go thicker, then maybe they have to go longer. But regardless, I think if you're trying, like let's say you've never had a dry aged steak before.
a lot of people ask me all the time, what does dry age feels like?
Yeah,
It's
if you've never
very
had it,
difficult to describe.
One steak by itself, you put it in a bag, dry age it for 14 weeks.
It is not a big commitment, everybody, and you can give it a try yourself at
Wait, how
home.
long? How long?
14 days.
Oh, days. I keep saying weeks.
Damn, 14 weeks, nigga, are you crazy? We don't recommend this one, everybody.
D-Poker Pro throwing the host? What is good,
That's right.
D-Poker
And if
Pro?
people are wanting to try and not a big commitment with a big piece of meat, this is
D-Poker Pro, man. Crusher out there. I saw you killing the PLO streets, it looked like. What's going on, man? How you doing?
inches thick. Just cut it maybe
I
2
appreciate
inches
the
thick,
raid,
you
brother.
have a better yield. But this worked out great. Anyway, guys, these are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do enjoy this video, make
What's
sure
been
you
going
give it
on?
a
What were you
thumbs
playing
up.
this
If you're not a
morning? What were you doing?
subscriber, be sure to subscribe for future videos. Remember, if you are interested,
Alright, so the butter thing does kind of work? Actually, don't even watch that one. It's got 1 million views. Damn, they're making bank off of just dry aging meat. Like what? I like this guy though. I like his videos. I want to send these people an email and be like, yo, send me one of these to review on Twitch. I'll set it right back here. I'll have a meat locker fucking right here, yo. Can you call? Is there a way to call these people? Klaus. How do I get a hold of this dude? Joel Crater. This is the guy we need to talk to, Joel. Give me a meat locker. Dude, D-Poker Pro. Rating with a party of 9. Can I get a 9er out there in the chat? Let me go get a glass of water. I'll be right back while we're on break. Whew. Dirty recycler hype. What did we miss? How many hands? Glass of water. Whew. I was hustling to get what I needed to get done. Next break.
Let you go, it's time to do what's best for me. We went to Colorado, we was there for your friend's wedding. I was trying to hold it together, but I felt like we were ending. I remember the beginning, but this ain't nowhere close to that. Seen some shit you didn't like, said some shit that wasn't facts. Never thought about getting back by putting your business out, but in the end you made it seem like I ain't the one who held you down, and that's fucked up.
Queen Jack, we missed on the button.
As long as I got my family and my niggas, everything will be okay. Be okay. And that's fucked up.
Not that bad.
As long as I got my family and my niggas, everything will be okay.
At least it wasn't Aces, right? At least it wasn't Aces, chat.
Son birthday, the week before my mom's birthday. That's the day you passed away. Can't feel too bad cause I know I see you again one day. But right now I can't help but feel this pain. That's fucked up. But as long as I got my family.
No 5 for us. Be okay, be okay, be okay. Be okay, be okay. Isn't there a free roll we should be in right now? Yep.
But as long as I got my family and my niggas, everything will be okay.
Be okay, be okay. Be okay, be okay. Let's get organized here. Unfortunately.
Girl, I wanna smash, but that money calling. Baby, it's the truth that I got used